IWC turns to the horological dark side with the all-new Ingénieur Automatic 42 in full black ceramic. There's a very good reason why IWC opted for ceramic for this new 42mm Ingénieur. To understand more about it, we turn to David Seyffer, curator of the brand's own museum, and Stefan Ihnen, the associate director of technics for IWC, and they will explain the intricacies of working with ceramics. But first, a brief history lesson on IWC and pioneering materials. Over the course of the past 40 years, IWC has etched out a name for itself as a materials innovator. It was among the first to machine watches with titanium cases and bracelets in close collaboration with Porsche design. Titanium is known for its lightweight and its anti-allergic properties and its imperviousness to things like salt water, sweat, and so on. There is, however, one downside with pretty much every metal case, and titanium is no exception to that. It's called scratches. No matter the grade of titanium you select for your watch case or bracelet, it will end up scratched over time. Special surface finishes and coatings can help greatly to improve the scratch resistance, but the true solution lies in something a little bit more exotic, and that is ceramic. Ceramics, at least when it comes to watch components, uses polycrystalline powders such as aluminium oxide or zirconium oxide. Mixed with various other elements, the powder is sintered at extreme high temperatures, and during this process the additives get burned off and the material shrinks about a third in size. However, if all goes according to plan, you end up with an incredibly hard and resilient material that is lighter than conventional steel, uniformly colored through and through, and has a velvety touch.
Material innovation for cases especially was very important for IWC. From sources, for example, we know that even in the late 1970s, people were thinking about new materials. So it was, I would say, a logical consequence that this topic was built up more and more, and also that construction team were thinking of using new materials for cases. So how it started? I mean, the first watch with a, let's say, not traditional material for IWC was launched in 1978 with a watch, the so-called compass watch, reference 3510, where we used anodized aluminium. But that's what's not the goal. We wanted to go a step further. So let's say the first breakthrough with new material was literally the chronograph number 1 that was launched in 1981. And the special thing was that it was the first watch with bracelet and case made of titanium. And titanium back in those days was, let's say, a material nobody has got experience with in making cases or bracelets. So when the project was started, we really have to think how to make it. And of course, there was a lot of trial and error. I think one interesting step was then made by a coincidence. The material what we see here in this watch, a Da Vinci reference 3055, it's the first ceramic watch that IWC launched. This happened in the year 1986. And when I say coincidence, it's really the coincidence that back in those days, here in Schaffhausen was a company making and thinking of new products made of this high-tech ceramic, which is called yttrium stabilized zirconia. And this was, let's say, the latest technology of scientific research ceramic. And as a result, this watch was born, which was the first step into the world of ceramic watches at IWC. That changed dramatically when in the year 2007 we launched the first pilot double chronograph in ceramic, because the design and also the all black looking with this high-tech ceramic combined in a pilot's chronograph, this was a perfect match. Interesting to see that starting from this point, it was a material then ceramics that we have in our collection, but also the collectors looked then back what was before. And I would say ceramic watches then of IWC became collectible items. And of course, we are super happy that we have this tradition till today.
The next innovation came in 2017 and it's called Ceratanium. IWC first presented a watch crafted in Ceratanium on the 50th anniversary edition of the Aquatimer Perpetual Calendar digital date month. That's quite a mouthful. It was developed over more than 5 years and combines the advantage of titanium with the resilience of ceramics. The result is a component that's as lightweight and unbreakable as titanium, but as hard and scratch resistant as ceramics. The black material can be used for anything, as IWC adopts it for cases, case backs, pushers, crowns and even full bracelets.
For me, it's really one of these milestones because it's a huge step into the future of material for watch cases, because we combined, let's say, the best of titanium with the best of ceramics. And interesting, maybe little known fact that for the first time, this material was launched 2017 in this beautiful Aquatimer with the Perpetual Calendar. But the really breakthrough for the material was 2019, again with the pilot's watch, the Pilot Doppel Chronograph with the Ceratanium case. And with the launch of this watch, I think a lot of people were thinking about this material and also saw the advantages of Ceratanium.
Enter the new Ingenieur Automatic 42 Black Ceramic. Contrary to what you might have expected given the brand's history and innovation in materials, the new Ingenieur is presented in full ceramic. Given the fact that black wears smaller, IWC has been able to experiment with sizes and subsequently with movements. Upping the diameter to 42mm made it possible to choose for caliber 82110 over the 32111, which is used in the steel and titanium versions of the Ingenieur. IWC's caliber 82110 uses several ceramic components, tying in neatly with the stealthy scratch-proof exterior, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Visually, the black ceramic Ingenieur matches its steel and titanium siblings, but crafting a case out of ceramic also poses some challenges. First and foremost, the material is so hard it can be incredibly challenging to finish. To put things in perspective, zirconium oxide ceramic has a hardness of about 1,300 points on the Vickers scale, where conventional 360L stainless steel has a hardness of only 150 points. In essence, the only tool that can be used is a material as hard or harder. Parts are often finished in tumblers with ceramic cones and powders or with diamond-tipped tools to achieve desired surface texture. And if you look closely at the details of the case, which is satinized, blasted, polished, one starts to understand the effort that have gone into this stealthy Ingenieur.
The challenges of the ceramic construction of the Ingenieur was really to keep or to stay in the shape of the original steel construction. And therefore we really had to make a full ceramic construction. So all the parts, the case ring, the back, the bezel are full ceramic parts. And even the bracelet, full ceramic. And to stay into this original shape, we had to find new solutions. For example, there is a titanium ring around the movement, which holds on one side the movement, but it's also the part where all the screws, which holding the bezel, holding the back, are screwed in, for example. Also to achieve a high water resistance of 10 bar with this special construction. One big challenge was also to achieve the same appearance with the same surface treatments like the steel watch on this ceramic watch. Due to the hardness of ceramic, we needed to have diamond toolings to achieve this, and also the special construction helps to achieve the surfaces with sandblasting, the satin finish, and also the polished surfaces on this watch.
All in all, it makes sense to go for ceramic for the Ingenieur, especially given the change in movement. Where the Ingenieur Automatic 40 in steel and titanium used the caliber 32111, this time we find the caliber 82110 under the sapphire crystal caseback. This too is an automatic movement with an efficient bidirectional peloton winding system, but with a few important differences. Most notably is the use of ceramic components in the movement itself. Given the ultra-resilient tendencies of the material, it's perfect in places where heat or friction can become critical. As such, IWC has incorporated it into the winding system, including the poles, automatic wheel and cam, and this is where the highest level of friction in a movement can be found. With ceramic components, the system becomes virtually wear-free, which is reassuring to say the least. This all comes together in a very stealthy take on the current generation of Ingenieurs. The design harkens back to the reference 1832 Ingenieur Jumbo SL from 1976, penned down of course by Gerald Chenta. This largely respects the integrated bracelet, the functional screws on the bezel and the grid-like pattern on the dial. Altogether, IWC again proves that pioneering materials. With these level of finishes on a ceramic case and bracelet, it really looks good and it stands out in the crowd of ceramic watches.